In today's video, we're flying from Courchevel to Venice using the Autopilot from start to finish. The techniques you'll see, including heading, navigation, vertical speed, altitude hold, VNAV, and approach mode, apply not only to the G3000, but also to the G1000 and other Garmin systems. In Around the World in 80 days, Phileas Fogg set out to do the impossible, to circle the globe against the clock. His journey crossed continents, oceans, and cultures, using the fastest transport of the 19th century. In this series, we're following that same iconic route, not in 80 days, but reimagined across many flights, using Microsoft Flight Simulator. From short scenic hops to long-haul crossings, this is a modern journey inspired by a classic adventure. So far, our journey has taken us from London to Paris, across to Geneva, and deep into the Alps to Sion and Courchevel. Today we continue south across the mountains and into Italy, flying toward the historic city of Venice. Today we are flying from Courchevel to Venice. Here we are in Little Navmap. We are going to set up our flight plan here. If you are on a PlayStation or don't have Little Navmap, don't worry, I'll show you how to do this without Little Navmap too. First, we set Courchevel as the departure airport. Next, find Venice. Right-click it and set it as the destination airport. Right-click it again and select the approach procedures. Choose RNAV approach. Choose an approach. Let's go with this one. Laren. We're going to come in from the east, then head northeast, giving us a good view of Venice. Then we'll loop back around and come into runway 22, which is on a bearing of 218 degrees. So we select it and click to add it into our flight plan. We then save the flight plan, and then save it again, but this time as a Flight Simulator 2024 plan. Now into the sim, open up your flight book by pressing the tab button. Click Flight Planner, route and load your PLN file. Click Load from this PC and select the PLN file from earlier. It should load into your flight book. There we go. That's our approach. We take a note of the altitude at the final waypoint before the runway. It's 2,000 feet. This is important for vertical navigation. Click Send and we will send the route to the plane's computer. If you don't have Little Navmap, then do this. Here we'll enter the departure airport. Now we'll add the destination and the runway that we want to land on. You can see here that this time it's actually defaulted to the approach that we set up in Little Navmap. But we can change or check it. Looks good. Send it to the plane. Almost ready now. First, let's set the departure time so that we have a nice sunny day. There we go. Let's start the flight. So here we are in sunny Courchevel. First thing we are going to do before takeoff is to set the autopilot up to how we want it to behave as soon as we turn it on once we are airborne. Let's look at the altitude first. I want to fly at 16,000 feet today, so let's change that with the altitude selector knob. And I want to get to that height pretty quickly. I'm going to arm the vertical speed mode button and set the rate of climb to 2,200 feet per minute. So as soon as I turn autopilot on after takeoff, I'm going to climb to 16,000 feet at a rate of 2,200 feet per minute. Okay, let's look at the heading we want to choose for the autopilot. We're taking off here. This is our GPS route to Venice. We're going to take off, then I'm going to turn and come down at 180 degrees due south and intercept our GPS route. GPS will be armed, and it will go active as soon as I intercept this line. So we'll take off, click on autopilot, and it will turn us, and we'll cross this line, which will make GPS active. Let's use the heading selector knob and set the heading. We'll set it to 180 degrees. And we'll arm the heading mode by pressing the heading button. We've got heading mode armed. We've got vertical speed mode armed. As soon as we take off, we'll turn on autopilot and the plane will take us to Venice. Parking brake is on. It's a short runway, so full thrust. And release the parking brake and off we go. Downhill, and we're going to get to 75 knots quite quickly. And that's our takeoff speed, so pull up gently and we're airborne. Level out for a little bit to build up speed. Landing gear up. Bring flaps in. Let's avoid that big mountain. And now we can turn on autopilot. You can see it's turning us towards 180 degrees and taking us to 16,000 feet. We're turning towards 180 and we want to intercept this line. And then GPS will go active. But we need to arm it. So click the nav button. GPS is white, waiting to go active. Once we start heading towards this line, it will come in and join the other line to make one line, and GPS will be active. Now heading directly to it. Once we cross or get near, it will go active. And there we go, GPS is active. So that's it for now. We can relax and enjoy the rest of the climb. Once we reach 16,000 feet, our cruising altitude today, we are going to set up vertical navigation to bring us down on our descent to the right altitude for landing. GPS is active, but it is just trying to straighten us out on the right path. It went over, came back around, is making minor adjustments to get fully on the path. Another minute or so to reach 16,000. We are climbing at around 2,200 feet per minute. Altitude indicator has gone green, so are now about to enter altitude hold mode. This is automatic once you reach your target altitude. After leveling out, speed will increase. Let's set up VNAV now. On this computer, we click Home, then Flight Plan. We have a 2,000 feet waypoint before the runway. So we need to set our target altitude to 2,000 feet, using the altitude selector knob. And then we simply click VNAV. Let's just look at the steps down in altitude that it will take us. One before the runway is 2,000 feet. Click VNAV on this display, and we can see top of descent is in 38 minutes time. You'll see similar data displayed in other planes. Look at our speed. It's a bit too close to 250 knots, so we're going to adjust thrust until we get a more suitable speed. Okay, that's all set up. So we're good for now. We'll come back in about 38 minutes time as we start our descent. Welcome back. We are now about 30 seconds away from the top of descent, so we are ready to start descending from 16,000 feet towards Venice. We can see here the altitudes that are associated with our waypoints. Here we are, just coming up to Lauren. V-Path has now gone active and we are descending. As we've started the descent, we are now going a bit too fast, so need to ease off on the thrust a little. But that's all I'm doing manually. The Autopilot is going to take us to the airport at the right altitude. Gone past Lauren now. Should be around 5,000 at this one. Look back at the map. We're coming in here, then turning left and continuing down towards 5,000 feet. Venice will be on our left soon. The airport is over there too. But first, 2 left turns. Venice is over there. And that's our airport. So we'll relax now and enjoy the rest of the descent. We can see here on the GPS that we are going to head left in a few moments. There we go, some advance notice, a few seconds before we turn. Here we go, turning left. Bottom of descent is in about 8 minutes' time. That's our 2,000 feet altitude at the last waypoint before the runway. Let's just slow down a little more, easing off a little on the thrust to reduce our speed. That is our airport. There's Venice. Let's reduce thrust a little more to reduce speed. When do I need to hit the approach button? It's going to be just before the final waypoint. Let's have another quick look at the map and check the route we are going. We're going to hit the approach button somewhere here between the last two waypoints. We've reached a waypoint, so we turn again, or rather Autopilot turns for us. We're still quite high, but we'll get down to the right altitude soon. Ease off a bit more thrust to go a bit slower. Coming up to our next turn now, second last one, before the final turn onto the approach. Here we are, one more turn coming up. I'll hit approach around here, I think. We'll be at 2,000 feet by then. Can just see the airport. Our last turn. Turning now onto that final straight path down towards the runway. Final waypoint is coming up. So, let's hit the approach button now to take us home. Glide path is active. We'll be at 2,000 before that final waypoint. Ease off a little more on the throttle. Perhaps we are going a little quick at the moment. Let's put the wheels out now. That will slow us down a little. still on autopilot for now, waiting to reduce speed a little more, then we'll get the flaps out. In fact, let's get the flaps out now to slow us down further. GPS is taking us to about the center of the runway, the one on the right. Approach mode is bringing us down nicely on the glide path. We're still on autopilot. Speed looks good. Let's turn off autopilot right now. Let's just gently readjust our position to the right-hand side runway and give it a little more thrust to keep us at around 85. Turn in gently a little. Reduce a bit of throttle. Let it glide in. Kill the throttle. Whoops, bit of a bounce here. Brakes on. This plane does slow down very quickly. And there we go, a full end-to-end tutorial on how to do a basic flight using autopilot with very little hand-controlled maneuvers. I hope you find this useful. If you do, please like and subscribe to support the channel and help me make more videos in future. This was leg 5 of my round the world in 80 flights mission. We'll fly to Rome next. Where to park? Let's fit in here, right between Air Portugal and Wizz Air. Stop and parking brake on.